Welcome to my Chapter 6 in my Ethical Hacking course. This chapter we're focusing on Trojans and BackDoors. So our main objectives is after reading this chapter we should be able to define what a Trojan is, the different types, explain in general how they work, know the different types of Trojan tools, understand the covert communication process, identify common covert communication tools, as well as define keystroke logging and spyware, become familiar with Trojans and backdoor countermeasures, understand what they are doing so that we can actually combat them. So remember, a general overview of a Trojan, it's a program that disguises itself as a legitimate one, but delivers malicious content when executed. It cannot spread by itself like a worm or a virus can, and it is dependent on a user to execute it. It can be embedded into programs or web links or PDFs or other applications, but it has to be user executed, and that could be embedding itself into a PDF, for example, and then you opening the PDF. Again, the big thing here is it pretends to be a legitimate program. There are 7 key types of Trojans. There's a remote access, known as a RAT, remote access Trojan. There's a Trojan that does data hiding. There's one that focuses on eBank. There's one for denial of service, for proxy, for FTPing, as well as for security software disablers. That way, each specific type of Trojan does a specific task or job. So Trojans can communicate using overt communication or covert communication. Backdoors are more specifically a program that allows a connection that bypasses our typical authentication process. Essentially, some programs will connect back to the hacker's machine. That way the hacker can gain access through that backdoor, bypassing authentication. Trojans can have different purposes. Some of them destroy data, some of them focus on credit card data, some focus on passwords, some focus on inside information or data storage, or even some type of advanced persistent threat, like backdoors. They can be distributed through many different means, through physical access, through browser bugs, freeware, chats, instant messages, peer-to-peer, through social engineering, through plugging in the wrong USB flash drive. There's just to name a few. Some Trojan tools. Remote access Trojans typically have 2 specific components: the server, which will run on our victim machine, and our client, which will be the node that the server connects to. So after the Trojan is installed, the victim or the server will contact the client or hacker to allow access. Other things might be a tinning, which is a small backdoor code in assembly language. It's normally used on Windows systems, and it listens on TCP port 777, and it allows for opening a remote command prompt that, again, will allow us to bypass typical authentication. Casa, it copies itself into the computer and renames Notepad to Note.exe, and then it names itself Notepad.exe, and then it listens for connection on port 7597. When you run Notepad, it actually opens up Notepad and allows you to run it. Other ones could be like NetBus. It's an older Trojan, but it does create a copy of itself and creates a file called keyhook.dll. It uses ports 1234 and 12346. It is used for redirection to send traffic to another machine. Sub 7 This can manipulate and change signatures to avoid detection, normally distributed via email, but it allows for attackers to monitor victims' keystrokes, as well as webcams, as well as microphones. So again, each tool does specific things, so it's kind of important to understand each of them. Other tools could be like a poison ivy that gives hackers access to the local file system. That way the hacker could browse, create, and delete directories, as well as edit our registry. Ghost rats enable a hacker to turn on webcam and record audio, and microphones, basically spying on people. Numerous other Trojan tools that are out there, like Let Me Rule, Jumper, Fatbot, Amitis, Zombie, Suckers, Beast, and so forth. Again, each one does specific tasks. Wrappers, that's a good one. Wrappers allow a program to be used to combine one or more executables into a single packaged program. For example, packaging calculator with calculator and a Trojan. So that way when you install the malicious program, or when it is loaded, the legitimate program does load, but so does the malicious program. Elite wrapper, Sarin wrapper, advanced file joiner. There are, again, numerous ones. The important one here is to understand what a wrapper is. Other Trojan toolkits could be a Trojan horse construction kit. That could be a command line utility that we can use to create Trojans. Cine Spy, again, that's done in Visual Basic. Stealth Tools, not really a Trojan kit, but it's used to help design stealth tools to make Trojans harder to detect. Again, helping manipulate the signatures. Also, this can deal with the steps of successfully deploying a Trojan. It's not just about creation of a Trojan or the modification of a Trojan to avoid detection, but it's also binding the Trojans to legitimate files and programs, as well as transmission of that Trojan to our target machine. And the big thing here is, how do we get the Trojan to our victim? Normally a really good kit was our social engineering toolkit, but that was just one of many. So, what is covert communication? The TC/SEC divides covert communication into two major categories. Covert timing channel attacks, they're harder to detect and they're based on a time, as well as covert storage channel attacks. And this uses two processes, one to write data and one to record, one to write data and one to read the data. Covert communications can use a plethora of protocols, IP, TCP, UDP, as well as other ICMP protocols. They can be used for port redirection. Some of the tools could be like DataPipe or FPipe or Netcad. Other tools could be like Loki, that will act as more of a backdoor. Uses ICMP backdoor. This uses only ping reply packets. 7 shell, that's an ICMP covert communication tool. ICMP SYN, reverse www tunneling, at command, again, all of them do specific tasks. So it's kind of important to at least know them. ACK command, it covert channel programs. It allows for the command shell for a Windows system, and it uses only TCP ACK segment. Keystroke loggers, that's more of a key logger. It allows you to log all keystrokes that happen, and that can be then sent back to the attacker, whether it be an email or through a dump. Hardware keystroke loggers could be like KeyGhost. Software versions could be IKS, Software Logger, Ghost Keylogger, or a plethora of other ones. Spyware, that's for a malicious code similar to a Trojan, but it's installed without the user's knowledge or consent, and it's configured to run in the background to monitor. The difference between Trojan and spyware is monitoring. Its purpose is surveillance and maybe advertisements. Anti-spyware could be things like a hijack this, or spy sweeper, or malware bytes, or adware blockers, or a few other ones. Trojans and backdoor countermeasures is first, make sure to keep your stuff updated. Educate users, and if you have latest version of antivirus, anti-malware, anti-spyware, you're going to be scanning so that you could detect some of them. Some of the tools used to investigate infected systems could be netstat, TCPview, hijack this, task manager, just to name a few. So that's our general overview of what a Trojan is, the different types of Trojans and toolkits, and understanding how Trojans communicate. Thank you.